Today, what I want to inform you, to teach you about, is how to fix what's broken. I think it's pretty easy to figure out that school, that we are doing school, that it's not working. So rather than just complain about it, I want to show you how you can fix it for free and what people do kind of at the top to get their children top flight educations and, for lack of a better word, more money and more power. But the school idea is not native to the United States. School, or Schule in German, is a Prussian, Bavarian, Eastern German area of a concept. It's not from the United States. That's a German school. It was created there, but the whole concept, the whole idea was from there. And that was a picture of a real school. To this day, it is illegal to homeschool your children in Germany. Their culture has take your children out of the house and put them in school. Now, how did that happen even over there? Because that's not it's not a natural idea. So, very quickly, in 1806, something happened in what we now call Germany that shook the country apart. They lost a very serious battle to France. The French soldiers would run into bullets, they would run to fight, and they would just follow orders without question. And the Germans were like, how do you do that? Well, here's how you do it. You create 12 years of tight scheduling. You take children out of the home around age 5 or 6 to people who are strangers that the parents do not know, and you get taught over 15,000 hours how to follow orders. Do as I tell you. I think we've all had that in our classes, right? Why do I need to do this? Because I told you to. That's the whole point. So, school is not an American thing. It's not in the Constitution. Horace Mann, who in my opinion was a total charlatan and a mountebank, went to Germany in the summer when there was no school in session, said this would be great to install in the United States, and they got it going. And so that's why there was no organized public school in the country, in this country, until the mid-1800s. It didn't exist. You had one-room schoolhouses, 5-year-olds, 18-year-olds. They'd go for 6 months, 2 weeks, 2 years, and then never go back. And it created the most powerful economic engine in the history of the human race. And then they instituted school. So what you don't know is that the backlash was severe. When they started to say, let's do school, this was in Massachusetts in around 1835 or so, and I'm not kidding you, the parents had to be, some of them had to be put at gunpoint to take their kids out of the house and put them with strangers all day. That's how it went. That's what you never get told. So, that's a quick history as to why you see the broken train wreck that's in front of you in terms of what you do for 6.5 hours a day. Let's change it, okay? So, this information that I'm giving you here are the private boarding schools. Those are the tuitions for 1 year of high school in those places. That is Choate, by the way. That's where the Kennedys send their children. 14 quick points that we'll cover. These are the elements that they teach at the private boarding schools where the wealthy and powerful send their children. All of them do this. None of them deviate from the plan. They cover a history of human nature, philosophy, theology, the study of religions. That's a bad word in the public school, right? They study theology, chapter and verse. The active literacies, a lot of writing and a lot of public speaking. That should sound familiar. They mandate it. Insight into the major institutional forms. How does your court work? How does your government work? Why are there 3 branches of government? Not so that everyone can get along. They have 3 branches of government so that everybody can argue, because argument, public speaking, is the only way to get to a consensus and to get as close as you can to the truth. So, other things they do, good manners and politeness. They have a standard of behavior. Not the coarse language and profanity and outright foolishness that you see here. Manners count. Independent work, doing things on your own. Energetic physical sports. It's not a phys ed class, or I need to stay in shape, or I need to blow off steam. No, you are going to struggle. You're going to actually maybe get hurt. And then, what are you going to learn? How to react to that. Access to any place or any person. You need to talk to your congressman, you need to talk to the mayor, you need to talk to the principal. How do you do that? You can. Do you know how? They do. The responsibility that you are expected to take. I need a leader, let's say, for a project. It is incumbent upon you to take the leadership role. That's stressed. Take the role. Run the group. Also a personal code of standards. Your behavior and morality is part of the curriculum. How do you act? What are your morals about? Do you know right from wrong? You should. Last few real quick, to have a familiarity with and to be at ease with the fine arts. Dance, painting, what's going on in the museums. Familiarity with. You don't have to be an expert, but you should be exposed to and deal with them. To be able to draw accurately. Charles Darwin, not my favorite person, but he drew those pictures of those birds in that book by hand. It was expected that you should at least be able to draw reasonably well what you see in front of you. And if you can't, then you just don't get it. You need to go back and study more. The ability to deal with challenges of all sorts, physical, intellectual, spiritual. Don't jump to an emotional conclusion. Go through your reasoning process. And lastly, your constant development and testing of all the things you've learned, which ones are valuable, which ones are valueless, and then you can discern and figure out which way you want to go in terms of your choices. That's a dorm room. That's a private dorm room, and those young men are in shirts and ties. Because during the day, you're a student, and you should comport yourself and look with your personal hygiene like you're serious. That's not a picture I just pulled off of nowhere. That's a real photo. So lastly, none of what I talked about here is free. Everything I mentioned costs a grand total of $0.00. You can do everything there and not pay a dime. So your education, this is your birthright. This makes you who you are. You're a person with a soul. Government doesn't make you a free agent or tell you how to learn stuff. This is you as a human. So you can do this. You don't have to spend any money. You can go on the list, and you can fix what's broken. Thank you.